Welcome back to the Open Mic Broadcast Network, the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. We have a special edition of the Mike Prince Show right now. We have on the line with us Athletic Director for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers, and that's none other than Anton Goff. Sir, how are you on this day?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
Well, considering everything, I'm okay. You know, things could always be better, but we are in the Thanksgiving season, so I'm going to take the high road and say I'm great.
That's good to hear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As once again, we appreciate you always making yourself available. At least when we reach out, you've been available, and this is no exception to the rule. Somewhat on a difficult term that we're talking about today, but a term that we must address, and that's the not firing technically, but I guess the release or not agreeing to agree to go different ways with your football coaching program. And let's tell us how that came to be and how did things kind of transition.
Yeah, so obviously Coach Bubba McDowell was in his last year of his contract, and so, you know, I had a decision to make. Were we going to renew the contract, or were we going to not renew it and go in a different direction? And ultimately, we decided to not renew it, go in a different direction. Super difficult decision for me on a personal and professional level. I've got nothing but love and respect for Coach Bubba, and you know, as we had our last, you know, end of the season meeting and talked about the program and talked about, you know, everything that has occurred the last 3 years for him and the last 2 seasons for us together, you know, I just, you know, came to the conclusion that we needed a new leader in our program, and, you know, told Coach I love him and respect him, and really, you know, thanked him, you know, for what he's done for this program. Like, you know, obviously the wins and losses, you know, you have to evaluate the, you know, a coach on that and a program on that. But the things that he's done for these young men, the things that he's done for me personally, I thanked him personally for helping me with the transition and coming here, because, you know, being the head football coach, obviously that has a lot of cachet. And so me coming in as the athletic director, you know, he viewed me as a partner from day one, and I appreciated that. You know, I never looked at it like, you know, I'm his boss, he works for me, and he never looked at it as I'm the football coach, the AD works for me. And so we had a great personal relationship as well as a professional relationship. But then on the other end, I told him, you know, I thanked him for, you know, his spiritual guidance, man. For those that know Coach Bubba, like, he's very spiritual, and I feel like he helped me in my spiritual journey, and, you know, and continuing that, and in my relationship with God and everything like that. So it was, you know, I say all that to say it was a difficult decision, but, you know, I had to put all that aside and look at, you know, from an athletic director standpoint and from a vision standpoint of where I want this program to be. I didn't think we were there, and I felt like we needed to make a change, and therefore, you know, I had to make that difficult decision.
Okay, when you have the vision of where you thought the program should be, where you thought it should be in comparison to what you're seeing as the reality, because it sounds like you did a lot of the right things, what is it that's missing, in your opinion, for this program to be where you desire it to be, and where do you desire it to be?
Yeah, so for me, I believe that I'm not comparing ourselves just in the SWAC. Like, for me, we've got to be one of those top 25 programs in all of FCS, right? And that starts with, you know, being in the SWAC and making sure that we are in it, 1 or 2 for the West, and then playing for the championship on a regular basis. You know, and when we compete outside of the conference, to be competitive against those that are in the Southland Conference, those that are in, say, Missouri Valley, or those other FCS conferences. And so I want us to be a model, right? I want us to be what people look at like, hey, man, Prairie View football, we're trying to be like that program. And so that's where I'm trying to get us to. And so we're not there yet. You know, when we lose, like, say, last year to a Houston Christian 30-0, or Abilene Christian, or, you know, we struggle against a Northwestern or East Texas A&M, used to be Texas A&M Commerce. I take that into consideration as well as how we're competing in the SWAC.
Okay. So with that, I guess it's fair to ask this question: has there been a new standard set at Prairie View? And if that is the case, what is the message to the coaches who remain?
So I don't know if there's a new standard because I don't look at what was happening in the past. The standard is you're evaluated here from the day I got here. You're evaluated on the resources that you're provided, and then we come up with expected expectations of where you should be. And so there's 3 areas. You either don't meet those expectations, you meet those expectations, or you exceed them. And so that's how I evaluate the coaching and the programs here. Resources have to match expectations. I hear a lot of times people like, well, why is this coach still here, or why is this program not made a change? Well, sometimes it's the resources that are provided to that program. And so, my job is to be able to get those resources to a level of where we expect to be competing for championships.
Okay, so if I'm understanding, I don't want to put words in your mouth, if the resources are not matching, there's not great expectations?
Well, let's put it this way. There's 12 teams in the SWAC, right? If I'm resourcing you at number 10 out of 12, I can't be super upset if you're not winning a championship, right? You see what I'm saying? So I've got to get you to a point of not being resourced at 10 to get you up to that top 4. Now we can talk about different expectations, right? If you're resourced at 10, then some of my expectations are, hey man, these student athletes got to be graduating. We've got to have no APR issues. We've got to be try to get to the middle of the pack competitively. Like those are the type of things that we have to make sure that we have realistic expectations across the board.
Okay, well, if you could, and I'm glad that you kind of opened up this door where we can get a clearer understanding. At least I would, and I'm pretty sure the listeners would too. When you go through the list of sports, and you said a top 4 in funding, could you tell us where we are as far as each sports, if we're in that top 4, or which sports are in the top 4 when it comes to funding?
Just off the top of my head, football, men's and women's basketball are up there, and volleyball.
Okay, and what about your other sports? Are they at that 10?
They're either middle or bottom.
Middle or bottom. So you're saying either 6 or below?
Yeah, either right in that middle pack. Like I look at it in thirds, right? Top 4, 1 through 4. Then you've got 5 through 8. Then you've got 9 through 12.
Okay. Do we have any programs that are 9 through 12 as far as funding is concerned?
I'd have to look at it. We have a few programs that are resourced very low right now.
Okay.
And when I talk about resource, so now I'm not going to get into to each detail of each program, but like if you look at it, there's different types of resources. There's facilities, there's salaries, there's scholarship level, there's operating budget, recruiting budget, like all those things you have to take in consideration when you're looking at operating a program and trying to figure out how to be a successful program. Like all that stuff counts. Like, you can have a great facility, but if you don't have the budget to go out and recruit, it's a little harder to get the talent in there. You see what I'm saying? And so when you look at all of that, those are the things that, as an athletic director, I have to look at every segment, every portion of every program when I'm evaluating them.
Okay. Now, as far as the funding goes, and we know it's like trying to find a needle in the haystack, in particular in the FCS world of fundraising. How do you overcome that? And then the next thing is, with you making your decision to move on, usually when a decision like that is made, you have a very short list of who would be the ideal replacement. And the thing that has perplexed in times past, I personally don't think it should take 60 days, 30 days, 90 days to find a replacement. I think this is something, if you're ready to roll on, that we should be able to really have this thing done in a couple of weeks, ideally.
Depends on the institution you're at, depends on the policies, procedures, all that, you know what I'm saying, HR. We're going to do our due diligence. We'll get somebody in here in time. Believe that.
Right. Well, I know, there's a protocol system to go, and they have to do it for legal aspects, but, how many times have people done interviews and they already know who they want unless somebody just blows them out the water, and you let it be known, hey, we want to offer this and move on. At least that's how I've grown accustomed to see how things operate. So is it slightly different at each institution?
At each institution is definitely different. Sometimes you know who you want. Sometimes it's, hey, I've got a list and I want to vet this list. Sometimes it's, I've got a target candidate and I'm going to call them and I'm going to put all my resources in trying to get that particular person. Sometimes because of policies and procedures at the institution, it takes a while. Everybody has to, you have to open it up for a certain time. So it's different everywhere. With this particular search, I'm going to do my due diligence. It's a national search, and we're going to go through and we're going to get the best candidate that we feel we can get to lead this program.
Okay. And as far as meeting the expectations that you had, what do you see as needed for that role to be filled at that head coaching position?
So a couple characteristics I see. One is obviously somebody who has great football knowledge, right? That goes without saying. But I need a leader. I need somebody who's a great communicator that can be a great campus partner, someone who can communicate with student athletes, can communicate with the community, alumni, corporate sponsors, those type of things. I need somebody who is going to run a program where our student athletes are super disciplined, and I think I need somebody who is going to be able to recruit Texas, in particular the Houston, Dallas, San Antonio triangle area. I think there's a wealth of talent in that area. That's what we usually call the three-hour radius area of student athletes that you can recruit here to Prairie View A&M University, as well as somebody who's savvy about the transfer portal. And then obviously the other things of being able to figure out this NIL space. So those are some of the characteristics that we're looking for a coach, but then there's going to be some intangible ones, right? Someone who just has a presence, somebody who has great experience, right? And so we're going to find the right person, believe that.
Right. Now, I know my coaching days are way behind me. And I could not coach the today's modern athlete because of my style and upbringing of being around coaches. And it appears, and I'm not saying this is the case of Prairie View, I'm just talking about across the board right now, but it appears that the student athlete knows that they have the power, with the NIL, with the deals. And usually if you even raise your voice an octave higher than normal to get a point across, not cursing or swearing at a kid, just raising your voice with the intensity that comes with coaching. These guys, they're built like super models and specimens, but there's no heart and very sensitive. It's going to be hard to find a right now type dude. At least I'm thinking. Is that going into consideration as you go through this process?
So obviously, there's some truth to what you say about that, but I think there's a way to communicate with these kids these days, and we're going to find a coach that's effective in that, right? There's some kids that don't react well to raising your voice. There's some kids that want that, right? And it's just like, that's the art of leadership. You know what I'm saying? If it was a science, then everybody would be able to do it because you would just plug in a formula. There's an art of leadership of being able to find out each individual that you're leading, what motivates them and how to motivate them. And great leaders figure that out. And we're going to find a great leader here.
Right, and that also leads to the recruiting aspect that you were speaking of when you talk
Yep.
about that triangle: San Antonio,
Yeah.
Houston, Dallas. Now, the reality of it is this: is Texas, of course, is a huge state,
Yep.
extremely huge state, and unfortunately, the Prairie Views, the Texas Southerns, are at the bottom of the wish list when it comes to Texas talent in particular, with so many options that they have. Guys that are, let's going to say, worth their weight. They're looking at the ACUs, Prairie Views, and the Texas Southerns as an absolute, okay, this is a Hail Mary, I'll try it and see what happens.
So let me stop you there. We're not going to compare ourselves to Texas Southern. I believe that we are an attractive program, and I'm going to get a head coach in here to make sure that those young folks in that area see us as an attractive option.
No, I understand all that, but what I'm saying with that going back to today's student athlete, and when we talk about recruiting, some of these guys, even though they're not, they feel like they're better than being at a Prairie View, and you can recruit the top key lines and the top 5, 7-star guys that are out there, but if you can only get that 1 or 2 star, then I think it's going to be predicated on not just a system, but multiple systems that will fit the talent that you're able to obtain.
This is what I'm telling you. We're going to get the talent here.
Okay. Okay. So, if I'm, like I said, I'm not trying to read in between lines. Are you saying that the talent was a bit subpar? Or
no, I would say our talent on our team was better than it was last year when we went to the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Talent is not I don't think talent's an issue. We can recruit here.
Okay. It's just a matter of execution.
Execution, discipline, just making sure that we've got the right people in place that are making plays. And we're going to get a coach that's going to make sure all that happens.
Okay. Now, since we're focused on the football, are you at liberty to share what the football budget is for Prairie
View? No, I'm not going to get into all that. It's within the SWAC, it's in the top 3. And within the FCS, it's in, I would say, the top 75%.
Top 75%?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair enough, and that's a good enough number to gauge. And wouldn't you say the top 25, are you anticipating the football program, since that's what we're focused on right now, to one day crack into that FCS top 25?
Absolutely. That is the vision and the goal of this program. To be, if we're not going to the Celebration Bowl, to be good enough to get an invite to the FCS playoffs.
Okay. Now
that's the standard.
I think that's kind of wishful thinking on our part. Not that the top 25, but that invitation to the FCS playoffs, because we willingly gave up our automatic bid. Okay, due to the fact of the Grambling Southern situation and the conference coming into alliance with that. And even if we have an outstanding year, like there's been a couple of times in times past with Prairie View, FAMU, and this, that, and the other, and we get in a huff because we didn't get an invitation when we gave up our right. My thing is, why are we even paying FCS fees if we're not going to participate in the playoffs?
So just a couple years ago, FAMU, when they lost to Jackson represented the SWAC in the Celebration Bowl. FAMU went to the playoffs.
Yes, sir, and that was a novelty in comparison. What I'm saying, we've had teams that have went 9-1, 8-3, and some teams that were in the FCS playoffs, they went 6-5, and they were qualifying for the playoffs. But what I'm saying is that automatic positioning, we aborted that when we declined our automatic bid. So I don't expect to see them giving us an opportunity. And that's what I'm saying. And if we're not going to participate in those playoffs, then we need to do something else as far as the FCS is concerned. Because we're paying the fee. We got to pay the fees to be a member, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So part of that is your scheduling philosophy. Part of that is making sure that you're winning the right games, the amount of games. I think the MEAC, it was either last year or the year before, got a team in, right? That didn't go to the Celebration Bowl. So lately there is precedence for that, and that's what we're shooting for.
Okay. And so I know you said you're going to work on this expeditiously, and I'm going to ask you to look into your AD's crystal ball. If it was a person, when would you like to be announcing, having your press conference, introducing the new coach?
Soon. You know you're my guy, man. But I'm only gonna give you what I can give you. You're my guy, but I'm only gonna give you what I can give you. I love your questions, though.
You love my questions. Hey, at least we're honest, fair, and balanced, right?
Absolutely. That's why I come on anytime, man. You're my guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm only gonna give you so much, man, on the air.
I'm old, but I'm still a journalist, right? I'm still a journalist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I love and respect you for that. I love and respect you for that, brother.
Well, I try to answer the questions that are asked me, because maybe I need to get on your payroll as an assistant AD, man, because they ask me.
Man, maybe.
That's
good. That gives me time to do some work rather than asking a bunch of questions all day.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can work some arrangement. How your people call my people? And then we'll get that figured out. But in all seriousness, I do appreciate you coming in such a stressful time and going through some of the detail of answering the questions, because it's a tough part of the job. No one wants to see anyone lose their livelihood, and you deal with relationships and rapport with people in that work environment. And this coaching fraternity, sorority, as you will, is always on the move and head on a swivel. Let me ask you this without you saying, is there a particular direction in which you are looking, whether it be north, south, east, or west, of some strong candidates?
I'm looking forward. That's the direction I'm looking. I'm looking forward.
You're looking forward. Okay, well, sir,
yep.
I appreciate you and the availability and coming on, especially during this Thanksgiving week and holiday. And I want to give you an opportunity to have some closing thoughts and comments as we get ready to wrap this special section up.
Yeah. First of all, I want to all the listeners, I want to say Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody has a safe holiday and whatnot. And in all seriousness, this, like I mentioned, this was a tough decision. What I want to tell the people is that I feel good about the future of our football program as well as our other 17 sports right now. I'm working diligently every day, haven't hardly slept since we landed late night Alabama State, working on this. And I'm going to continue work on it until it comes to a closure. I understand the gravity of these type of decisions because, not only does it affect one man, it affects a whole staff and then affects their families. So I don't take a decision like this lightly. And so, I'm going to go through painstakingly and do the due diligence, the research to get the right person in here so we can get this program where we all want it to be. And I know, there's a lot of people out there that didn't want me to make this decision, and there's a lot of people out there that wanted me to make this decision and wanted me to make the decision mid-season. And I get that, and I understand the passion and the support for this program, and I owe it to not just our student athletes here, but to the fans and the alumni to get this right. And so I'm going to get it right, and we're going to be proud of this program. And as always, man, I appreciate you because I know you're going to ask the tough questions, but they're going to be fair, they're going to be balanced, and, I come on anytime for you, man. And I appreciate your support of just, letting me come on and talk.
Well, we appreciate you being a part of it and the willingness to do so. And regardless of what they might try to tell you, I'm not the boogeyman. I am A, an alum, B, a supporter, and then C, a fan. So, we do what we can while we can, and we appreciate and we'll continue on. And let me say this too. Thank you for allowing the open mic to broadcast the games, and it's just an honor for us to be a part and give back to our beloved university, sir.
I appreciate the partnership, brother.
Anton Goff, Athletic Director for the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, reminding you guys that you can follow me on Twitter X at The Mike Prince Show. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. But when you subscribe, hit that bell notification. That way, when we go YouTube Live, you have everything right there at your fingertips. You won't miss anything. Of course, that channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And do remember to keep up with our 24-hour stream on the obnradio.com website. I must exit stage left. My time is far spent. So until the next time, you guys be blessed. And we'll see you on the other side.